Thanks for the support as a channel member, Martin Cooper. Well, after the excitement of yesterday's promotion to League One, we now try and put together a squad that's going to be good enough to keep us there. Hello and welcome to part 64 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special from what has been the greatest season in the history of Bourne Town Football Club. Finishing top of League 2, 99 points on the board. That has been a good season, no matter how you look at it. What a season. Goodness me. We did win our last couple of games of the season. I'm going to say season a lot, apparently. The word doesn't even mean anything anymore. And we beat Cheltenham and Burton to finish the season. Right, let's review. Oh, we've got to review the season now. Look at all the times I've still got to say that word, and I've already ruined it for everybody. So, our all-time... Why does it start with the all-time best 11? We seem to have missed a step. Here we go. So this is the new all-time best 11. So Griffin's still our best goalkeeper. He now plays for Bohemians. He's been there several years now. Anang's still on the bench. Is ridiculous. Mata still in the team at left back. 32 years old now. Jaffet Mata still playing for Stocksbridge. Never as a left back. Morrison in at centre back. He's at Oldham. And absolutely we scout him because we're now in a division above him. We might be able to bring Steve Morrison back. Likewise, Charlie Wiggett at Plymouth had a full season in League One. Well, maybe he wants to come back to Bourne. That would be lovely. And Dodd, of course, who's still with us, is now our all-time best right back. As you can see, he's one of the two players making it in this year, along with Lavelle, who presumably is on the bench because he's not in that team. Dootson is in at defensive midfield, which is a weird one. I guess he did have the two spells at the club. He's still our record signing, but he only really played as a regular for a season and a half, and it was never in midfield, and he's now playing in the National League South. So that feels like a vacancy that could open up soon. Smith, we know, retired after leaving Doncaster because he wouldn't come back to us. Taylor Coots is in on the left-hand side of midfield, just did the one season with us. It was a very good one season, though, and I wonder if we might be able to get him back for life in League One, because the one thing we didn't really have this year was a free-scoring striker, so Taylor Coots might be the ideal man to bring back after a year away. Jack Lee, now at Accrington, playing in the National League, has returned to England. It's another one. It feels like... I do feel like we need to move away from the 4-2-4 with our all-time best 11 at some point, and then Carty and Hector Ingram up front, who have both retired. End of season awards for this year. Player of the year is Christine, and I think that's well deserved. He has been outstanding. We need to try and get him back. He's been a very important part of the team. He got 47% of the votes. Carlo Driscoll, also on loan, so another one we need to try and get back on loan again, with 24% of the votes. And Graham Goldie, another loan, another one we need to try and get back. So we're thinking, get those three back, bring Coots in, and then one more, which I guess would be Berry, and we'd have to sign our own attacking midfielder. Richard Robinson gets goal of the season. Let's have a little look at this one. Obviously, I don't know whether this was him or Richardson, even though it's just said Robertson. I think that's part of the problem. And I said Robertson rather than Robinson. He's called Richard Robinson and the other guy's called Richardson. He may as well be called Robin Richardson, the other fella. I just can't tell the difference. It's always a free kick. Carl Washburn gets signing of the season, despite me saying his name wrong for most of the year. I think that kind of says a lot about our permanent signings this time around. We didn't really sign anyone truly great, I don't think, because that doesn't look like a signing of the season to me. And Christine gets Young Player of the Year. Team of the Year is Hattersley in goal, who only forced his way into the team in the second half of the season, although that disproves that. It was earlier than I thought it was. Played 30 games in the end, so that does add up. A back four of Barnes, who's another one I want to get back on loan. Barnes, Lavelle, O'Driscoll and Dodd, McWilliams and Dean, and then Goldie, Palmer, Berry and Dodds up front, even though he didn't play for the second half of the season because we played Sadler there. Joint top scorers were our two wingers, Goldie and Berry, which confirms why I would like to bring Coots back so we can have a proper striker, so we can have some nice goals scored next year. Dean, highest average rating. McNulty, most assists, even though he barely played the second half of the season too, as Dodd forced him out of the team. A combination of Dodd and Berry, really, forcing him out of the team. Williams, best pass completion, but he didn't play very much once Hattersley forced him out of the side. So I don't think that really counts. And then for the final couple of things, most man of the match awards went to Dean. Terry Broadbent, king of the naughty boys clubs, and we didn't get a red card all year, which is surprising. We did overachieve, obviously winning League Two. We were supposed to finish top half. We won it. We also got to the third round of the FA Cup against Aston Villa, which was lots of fun. And the other two cups weren't really notable, but who really cares? An average attendance of 915, I think, is a record for us. It will be interesting to see if we finally start making some moves to get this new ground that we want so much. That's where some of our players from 2019 have gone now. I mean, there's so many names there that I don't even recognise anymore. It's been so long. We've been playing this save for a while. Club vision stuff. So Mick Powell still looking for defensive, high-tempo counter-attacking football that makes the most of set pieces. I'll still agree to it and then largely disregard it all. Because as far as I'm concerned, as long as we work within the wage budget and meet the position goals, he'll be happy. And all he really wants is mid-table and just become an established sort of mid-table, top-half League One side. And we know within the next 5 years we're going up to the Championship. Our three team leaders, Lavelle, Broadbent and Dodds. The only one I can see being a regular starter next year is Broadbent, so Lavelle and Dodds might both need to move on to avoid causing problems. Let's just tell everybody that we are going to be bringing in some sign-ins for a mid-table finish. I'll give you a chance. No, I really think we can get a mid-table, provided we make the right additions to the squad. That's the one we want to say. Everyone's happy with it. Excellent stuff. There's your injury report for the season. Lavelle missed a quarter of the season with injury and still got in team of the year. End of season break is all good. And some guy called Moon has signed a new contract as our fitness coach. I didn't know he was here. Did you know he was here? So the job now, we've been given our budget. We obviously have no actual money, but we do have a little bit of wage budget, no transfer budget. So the job really initially is to see who we want to keep for next season. And because a lot of this squad are out of contract this summer, and a lot of them I think we're probably going to let go. The likes of Lavelle, Matsuzaka, even McWilliams, Dodds. These are players who aren't really regular parts of the team. Then trying to renew the loans. And this is really the bulk of the team that we're building with, these players down here, which does make up a lot of the team. But there's going to need to be some serious shuffling around of players again, because we've got a lot of deadwood that we've accumulated once again, and that should free up some space for some youngsters to come in. You know the drill for these summers now. We can't afford to spend a lot. We just need to try and cherry pick the best youngsters coming out of the Premier League and hope that's good enough. Well, there goes that then. Our planned stadium expansion has unfortunately had to be scrapped. It wasn't an expansion, we were building a new one. Although the board had promised money would be made available, they no longer see the importance of such an investment. Thanks, Mick. Abbey Lawn is located in Bourne. The stadium has room for 4,300 supporters with the potential to be expanded to 5,250. I thought we were looking for a new one, not looking to expand this one. I remember sulking at the time because I didn't want us to get a new one. Does that mean we're now not doing either? No, we are still searching for a site for a future stadium. So I don't understand this at all. Unless they're about to announce a new stadium. Because did we have to improve the current one to meet league requirements? What are the rules for stadiums? Does it have a rule for stadiums on here? General competition rules. Somewhere in here. So minimum stadium capacity 5,000. So we had to expand to meet the rules of the competition. The fact that we're now not suggests we're about to announce the new one. So let's hit continue and see if that's what we're about to get. Otherwise, I don't understand how we can get away with not expanding when we literally have to meet the rules of the league. We've been in League 2 for 2 years, unless the clock starts again when you move up to League 1. No announcement. Yeah, let's just check the rules of League 1. It would be bizarre if League 1 didn't have a similar rule, but I guess there's always the possibility that it doesn't. No, same rule. It's probably behind my head. That's interesting. League 1 has a terracing is not permitted in stadiums rule. Well, that's not a thing in real life. So we need a 5,000 capacity all-seater. And what we've got is 800 seats. Wow. We've got to be announcing a new stadium or a ground share, presumably. Watch this space. No ground news, but Mick Powell's done a Mick Powell again. £65,000 injected from the rest of the board. Mick Powell gets them to hold his beer because he slings £1.5 million of his own money in to help cover the club's running costs. What a wonderful man. It puts us back in the black money-wise. We don't look at those numbers. Those numbers aren't important. Oh, we need some fans, we need a stadium, and we need like 5 promotions. We'll be fine. No expense spared on this year's training camp. You can tell we've hit the big time now we're in League One. Bourne Town Football Club have a training camp in Nottingham, which is like 30 miles away from Bourne. As you can see, I've tried to extend all of our loans, so we're waiting to see if they get in. But in the meantime, we have our first 3 signings of the summer. As ever, youngsters that came out in the original batch of Premier League releases, and there's another batch on the 1st of July. We'll try and get in on them again. But Terry Goddard looks like he's the pick of the bunch, an 18-year-old attacking midfielder who can also play up front, central midfield, out wide. He's already a 3.5-star current ability player. Makes me question whether we actually need to bring Jordan Palmer back, because Goddard could slot straight in a potential future championship attacking midfielder. Played a Premier League game for Arsenal last year. Seems like a decent signing. Ken White is a new left winger, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, potential to be a future League One winger in the future. Probably not ready for the team for next year, but a good youngster to have around at aged 18. And Aiden Nicholls is a 19-year-old centre-back, similar sort of situation, not ready for the first team yet, would be our 6th choice centre-back, but will one day be a League One quality centre-back. He comes in from Manchester City. It looks like there's an offer in for Mark Sheffield as well, and a really low-flying helicopter above my garage. If this video never makes it out, they got me, and I don't know why. Right, we're not interested in selling Mark Sheffield, so we'll just decline that. I don't know who John Ryan is. Isn't there a TV show about a guy called John Ryan? Yes, you can have him on loan, because whoever he is, he never played for us, but you have to pay his wages. No, not going then, is he? Simple. Let's see if we get our loans back in. So we're paying their wages. We play by the rules. Unlike #United, who are now in the National League South, for those of you looking to keep track of them. And that is every loan from last season confirmed for another year. We couldn't get Taylor Coots back. We tried, but Newcastle weren't interested in letting him come. But having the other ones back in, including Palmer, even though we've signed Goddard, who isn't showing up on the team report. Has he gone into the under-23s for some reason? I can never even find the under-23s anymore yet. So let's get you up into the first team where you're supposed to be. So yeah, Palmer is back as well. Probably won't play as much as now that he's got Goddard there, but we have had an offer in for Chapman to go out on loan on full wages to Stevenage. So I'll just let him go. And go with Palmer and Goddard as our 2 attacking midfielders for this coming year. Robinson, Richardson, Dodds are all out of contract this summer, and I think I'm letting all 3 of them go. So we'll just have Sadler plus anyone we can bring in. And then other than that, that's pretty much our squad as we approach the 1st of July. We've got another 20, well, in fact, with the committed spending, we've got like another £35,000 a week of wage budget that we can use. So hopefully we can bring some good options in. Maybe even a little bit of experience. Wouldn't that be fancy? We have hit the 30th of June, so contracts have expired, one of which is Claudio Sarti at Sheffield Wednesday. So we've offered him a loan to try and bring him back in for a potential 3rd spell at the club. But big names leaving us this summer: Richardson, Matsuzaka, Hackney, Dodds, Robinson, Moncur. I don't even remember Chadwick. That's not the right... Oh, I didn't realise we had 2 Sadlers. I thought I'd released the wrong one for a minute there. Plus a load of the young players as well. There are lots more due to expire next summer, but we won't worry about them just yet. Likewise, staff. That feels like a job for Guillem Balaguer to sort out, and I don't need to worry about the youths because they're all rubbish. What's wrong with Mark Sheffield? He wants a new contract. Does he, by golly? Well, he does seem to be wanted by everyone. You know what? Firstly, let's ask Lavelle to resolve the issue, who did get a new contract. Go on then, let's have a chat with you. Let's have a look at giving you a new contract. What are you on at the moment? Important player, I can live with. You're on £875 a week. We'll get rid of all this nonsense for a start. and try and get that to roughly what he's earning now. I don't mind giving him a little bit of a pay rise. Just a smidgen. Fine. There we go. New 2-year contract for Mark Sheffield. And that means that on the with all the players leaving who have left, this is what our squad looks like before we bring anyone else in. So Williams and Hattersley as our 2 keepers. Horlock still around as a backup. Horlock's been at the club a long, long time for a player who only ever played for us once. But I just keep giving him new contracts because, I mean, he's not terrible. He's just like a decent third choice keeper to have around in case we ever needed one. And he's cheap. Mark Sheffield and Barnes as left backs, I think, is fine. O'Driscoll, Lavelle, Washburn, Cattermott. We probably need another. I want a 4-star defender to come in over the top of Lavelle to play alongside O'Driscoll. Dodd and McNulty. McNulty's had a huge drop off in star rating there. He did so well for us in the first half of last year. Maybe we need another right back as well. Central midfield: Dean, McWilliams, Broadbent, Montgomery to a lesser extent because he's still young and has potential to get better. But again, maybe one more of them coming in. You know, I'm going to sign more than just one. Up front, we definitely need a couple more strikers. And yeah, any extras in it. Really, I'm happy to strengthen anywhere. The only area we really don't need anyone is left back. We're very strong at left back. 2 of the best players at the club, or arguably the 2 best players at the club, are both left backs. Probably didn't need to bring Barnes back when we've got Mark Sheffield, did I? Let's bring some trialists in. Right, first batch of transfers done. Wasn't able to get everybody I wanted, but we have got some good ones in here. Chapman went out on loan to Lincoln. Probably should have mentioned that at some point. We already knew about Goddard, White and Nicholls. So next batch, Barry Murray is a 22-year-old former England under-19 international. He's my new McNulty. He can play anywhere up that right-hand side. Can also play central midfield or up front. 3.5-star current ability makes him a good League One player already. Not really any potential to get any better, but to be honest, he doesn't really need to. He's already good enough for this level. He's played a few games in the Championship for Brentford, formerly of Chelsea. Should just fit nicely into our team on that right-hand side. Paul Harris is one for the future, a 17-year-old Australian striker, 2.5-star current ability, but potential to get much better. He comes in from Chelsea as just a youth option. We've got quite a nice mix of youth and experience coming in this summer. Alan Hardy is a little bit between the two. I'm not entirely sure where he fits in at the moment, other than the fact he's a good goalkeeper, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential. Will compete with Hattersley for our starting spot. Already a good League One goalkeeper with the potential to get better. He comes in from Preston. Anthony Ralston is a player I've had in Football Manager games before. I forget when and where and why. But a 31-year-old right back, former Scottish under-21 international, 3.5-star current ability, makes him a good League One player already. Can compete with Dodd for the right back spot. Lots and lots of experience for this guy at this level, as well as playing for Salford in League One last year. Played a full season, got Championship experience, Scottish Premiership experience. Lots and lots of... I said I wanted to bring in some experience. He is some experience. This guy, I'm hoping, is going to be our new star. I think this is the first player we've owned who's come in with a value of over £1 million. We're paying him a lot of money. Goran Pavlov is a current Bosnian international striker. 4 goals in 6 appearances for Bosnia. He's a 3.5-star current ability striker. Let's tick him over to striker on there. 4.5-star potential ability. He will hopefully tear this league up. Been scoring goals for fun in Bosnia. And I'm hoping he can just come in and be awesome. He's the striker. Basically, he's my big risk. We've spent a lot of money bringing him in. He was available on a free transfer, which is why he appeared. And I'm excited. I'm very excited. I know he's not got a finishing of 9, and you're all going to tell me that makes him rubbish. I'm going to tell you he'll be good. He'll be fine. He scores lots of goals. He'll be good. £8.5 a week. I know. I hear you all. Liam Kitching, more experience, 30-year-old centre-back, 3.5-star current ability. Again, lots and lots of experience at this level. Notts County, Sunderland, Reading, Forest Green. He's been around a bit, but loads of experience, and it's the kind of player that we needed to bring in. Tom Rose is the opposite of that. He's a youngster, 2-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He comes in from Newcastle. Don't expect to see him play much this year, but he will be around the place, as will Alban Shehu, who's a Kosovan under-21 international, central midfielder and defensive midfielder. Another one who comes in for his potential. He's come in from Tottenham. We're getting several fancy foreign names in now. We've hit the big time. Ross Handley's another right winger. Another one who's just come in as one for the future. He comes in from Watford. And then lastly, from this first batch, Luc Mooney is a young striker, 17 years old, who comes in from Manchester City. There were a couple of other more experienced players that I tried to get but couldn't. We do still have some wage budget left. We've got like another 12 grand a week of wage budget to potentially spend, which could be another 1 or 2 real first team quality players. And if we have a little look on here to see where we might need them, I think with Pavlov and Sadler and the 2 wingers who can play up front, I think we're good up front. It would still be nice to bring in a really, really good left winger. Mitchell's still our second best one. We need someone competing properly with Goldie on that side. I think we're good with Palmer and Goddard, McWilliams, Dean, Broadbent. It would be nice to bring in another midfielder. We were trying, and the one we wanted got away. But I think our defence and goalkeeper are looking very strong. So, dream scenario is we get a 5-star central midfielder on 6 grand a week, a 5-star left winger on 6 grand a week. We finish off the squad, we finish off the wage budget, everybody's happy. Now we just have to go and find those players, which is easier said than done. Right, a few more signings made. I think we are close to done. We still didn't get a left winger, but don't worry, I got another right winger. You can never have too many wingers. Although, to be fair, this guy can play left wing or right wing or up front. We've got another striker, Geoff Cargill, 26 years old. 3.5-star current ability makes him a good League One striker. Exactly the kind of thing that we needed. We needed strikers. We now have 2 good ones, and Sadler still knocking around. He's been at Barnsley all his career, never really scored a huge amount of goals, but has played like 100 plus games in the Championship and did score goals for Salford down in the National League when he was younger. So this is often coming off the bench, and obviously it's a higher division. So I'm hoping as a rotation striker with us, competing with, is it Pavlov? Pavlov. Competing with Pavlov for a starting spot. I hope he'll end up being a good signing. John Clark is another player with a bit more experience, 26-year-old central midfielder, 4-star current ability, makes him a good League One central midfielder, best midfielder at the club, better midfielder than Christine, which is always a good sign. Another person who's been around the Championship all his career as kind of a fringe player with both Preston and Stoke, but coming down to play in League One at 26 years old with Championship experience can't be a bad thing. And then Kyle O'Brien rounding out our new 26-year-old signings. This guy, 3-star current ability, might be a bit of a mistake because we've already got Murray and Berry ahead of him. He was scouted better than he appeared to be. But again, lots and lots of League Two, League One experience, went to the Championship, didn't really do very well. But lots of League Two experience. That one might be a misstep. I'll grant you that one might have gone a bit wrong. And that does mean that we are now fully maxed out. We're just waiting for the bonus thing to come through so we can convert some of the bonuses to transfer budget, swing that back around to wage budget and cover that off and call the squad complete. And we have also had an offer in for McNulty to go out on loan, and that would then drop us back below our wage budget as well. But I don't expect there to be any more business. I think that is a complete squad. I would, in an ideal world, have another left winger, but we're not in an ideal world. So as it is, I think that squad's good enough for a mid-table finish, which is what we're supposed to be achieving this year. Well, here we have some further proof that the media are just insane every time we get promoted. Think we've got an outside chance of a playoff push, which just doesn't seem right to me. I haven't looked to see if we've got anyone in the media Dream 11. I suggest we probably don't. We do not. I mean, there's proper money being spent in this league, like £1 million transfers. It's a whole new world. We need Pavlov to end up being any good and worth the hype. McNulty has gone to free up some wage budget. We tweaked the thing. What is the thing? The bonuses to give us a little bit more wage budget, and it allowed us to get our man. We have the left winger that we were looking for, Salvador Querol. Is a 26-year-old Spanish left winger. He's an inverted winger or inside forward. You know how much I love this kind of player. Valued at 2.6 million. I just want to sell him now and take the money. 4-star current ability player, makes him a leading player for most League One sides. I wonder if if that's a player that gets into the Dream 11 now, if he's a leading player. No. But that does finish the squad. We now have a very, very strong squad in all positions, really. We could probably do with getting rid of some players because we're a little smidgen over our wage budgets, but not enough, I don't think, to upset Sir Mick Powell. No, he's happy that we're on course with that. As long as we don't bring in anyone else, it's all good. Forget that. That's not relevant. And that brings us to the end of the transfer window. No more business in or out. And I think that's a pretty good summer. I think we've got a very snazzy looking team going into the first day of the season, which of course will be tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.